before, but
The ENN Podcast.
He has a good energy, you guys.
Can you believe it? Can
Sports.
you feel it? Can you feel that excitement?
The merchandise, wearing the hats.
Chris Wild here live from Lincoln Financial.
And I'm telling you, if you let Eli Manning walk into that stadium and make you look stupid and get a Giants W.
Music.
Wow. Whoa.
And more.
What's his next book going to be called? Spineless?
like
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I'm professional wrestler Chris Wild. This is the ENN Podcast, live reaction to what we just witnessed. And man, wow. So the Eagles lose 42-30 to the Kansas City Chiefs. And I got to be honest with everybody. I've got to be honest. Well, first off, let me just get this out of the way. I'm on my number 9 of this Vizzy here, and this is the pineapple edition. Shout outs to Nicole, but it tastes like sweat. It sucks. Not saying all the Vizzies do, but that one does. And you know, this pineapple Vizzy kind of is kind of like the game that we watched today. I mean, I'm going to drink it. I'm going to feel okay from it, but at the same time, it sucks while it's going down, which is what happened to our Philadelphia Eagles today for everybody watching. And I'm kind of keeping track of some of the other scores from the games today. Everybody else in the NFC East won. I don't really think it means much. The Giants, the lowly, horrible Giants, defeated the Saints, which I think is I think the Saints are a fraud team to begin with. We've got the Washington football team that actually edged out a victory today against the Atlanta Falcons, who we all know are horrible. They're our only win. And then, of course, the Dallas Cowboys continue to look impressive as they pretty much did whatever the hell they wanted to against the Carolina Panthers. Now, listen, again, it is week 4. I don't things that happen right now. I mean, really, Deontay Reed, thank you very much. You ain't never lied, brother. But it's week 4, man. Like, if you look at week 4 last year, like things that happen in week 4, I mean, it's still very early in the season, especially for this Eagles team. Now, look, let's be honest, guys. We come into this season as a team that is rebuilding, right? A young football team that is a rebuilding football team. I think expectations, even though we say there were no expectations, I think they went a little bit higher than we thought that they were going to be, especially after that win in Atlanta week 1, where the Eagles trounced the Atlanta Falcons, putting up 32 points. And then, of course, San Francisco happens. I think they left a lot of points on the board against San Francisco. And then that demolishing, humiliating loss against the Cowboys had everybody questioning this coaching staff, this team, the players, Jalen Hurts. I mean, it was such a bad loss. And I said, and I will not, back down from this. It was the worst Eagles loss I've ever seen in all my times as an Eagles fan. It was the worst loss. So today you come into the game against the Chiefs. Now, look, the Kansas City Chiefs, for those of you that have been hiding under a rock, or may have just stumbled across this video because you saw these guns and this awesome looking face, and you just wanted to see something, and you don't know anything about football. The Kansas City Chiefs are a great football team. They've been in the last 2 Super Bowls, obviously coached by one of the best coaches of all time, former Philadelphia Eagles head coach Andy Reid, who we still have yet to beat, who won his 100th game with the Chiefs, also won 100 games with the Eagles, the first coach to ever do that, first ballot Hall of Famer. And they have an offense that is absolutely unstoppable. Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. I mean, these are all, again, Pro Bowl isn't even doing it justice. These are all pro players that, again, working on Hall of Fame records. So they come into Philadelphia against, again, this Eagles team that there's a lot of unknowns to. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't think the Eagles had a shot at winning this football game. But throughout the game, I thought they had a shot. If the Eagles defense just made 1 or 2 stops, we're looking at a completely different game. So let's just get right into it. First off, I thought Jalen Hurts played a great game. He had a couple throws he wished he could have had back. Obviously, that touchdown pass, Zach Ertz wide open in the end zone. He overthrows him. That should have been 7 there. Again, any of these plays could have changed the game. He had basically an interception that was called back. That was a bad throw. But other than that, I think the guy played solid. And what people need to understand, and if you're watching this, if you're a hater, if you're a Cowboys fan, if you're a hater, you just want to come and see how an Eagles fan is dealing with this loss. I'm going to tell you this right now. The Eagles went into this game with only 1 starting offensive lineman. 1. And that's center Jason Kelce. God bless Jason Kelce, because he has been the best Eagles offensive lineman, maybe the best player on the Eagles offense the past, 5-6 years. This guy is an absolute Iron Man. And Lane Johnson goes out with a personal issue today. So now you've got literally backups playing. Andre Dillard, Jack Driscoll, Nate Herbig, Landon Dickerson. So Jalen Hurts has to play behind these guys. He's got to play behind. This wasn't mentioned on the national broadcast enough. He's got to play behind this makeshift offensive line. It's 2020 part 2 all over again. And look, I understand the Kansas City Chiefs statistically have a bad defense. They let 457 yards average, but they played some good offenses. They played the Browns, they played the Ravens, and they played the Raiders. I mean, so look, they've played some decent offenses, so those numbers could be skewed. But again, you're playing Jalen Hurts behind a makeshift offensive line. So I'm not expecting much success. And if you looked at my little preview video after the gym, you could see I just didn't think it was going to happen. Again, drinking my 9th Vizzy of the day. And as I said in the beginning, this is a pineapple mango. And it's kind of the story of this game, disgusting. It tastes like sweat, but it's going to go down and it's going to have a good effect. And I'm loving these comments so far. Losses on defense, 100%. I'm going to get to that, and I couldn't agree with you more. The interior defensive line is the only ones it shows on defense, and they barely do. So Jalen Hurts playing behind this makeshift offensive line, first drive of the game, drives the Eagles all the way down the field, overthrows Zach Ertz by a little bit. They go for a field goal, which, again, I understand, put points on the board, but you can't only get 3 points against this Kansas City offense. You just can't. Defense goes on the field against the Chiefs, and the Chiefs do whatever the hell the Chiefs want to do against this Eagles defense. And that was the theme for the rest of the day. Pat Mahomes, 5 touchdowns, Tyreek Hill, 3 touchdowns. On one touchdown to Tyreek Hill, he was covered by Eric Wilson of all people. This defense of the Philadelphia Eagles absolutely lost them this football game. If they could just have gotten a couple stops, which they didn't, the Eagles win this game. And that's not the only thing. Now, look, I agree. The defense lost the game for the Eagles, but that's not the only thing that lost the game for the Eagles. As O Dizzle Drizzle. God, what a great name. O Dizzle Drizzle. We played a top 3 team in the league. We are getting better. I agree. Look, the Eagles had 3 touchdowns taken off the board. Taken off. So the score was 42-30. Add 3 touchdowns to that. I mean, the Eagles, it was closer than it looks. First off, Dallas Goedert has a touchdown. He almost gets his head ripped off in the meantime. And let's give a shout out to number 86, Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert. They played their ass off this game. Where were these guys last week? Because if they played like they played today, the Eagles probably beat the Dallas Cowboys. Our tight ends were on fire all game, but that play gets called back because of Andre Dillard. Penalty on Andre Dillard. Dallas Goedert had another touchdown taken off the board. And then I can't remember the last time I was this mad at a play in a game when Goddard goes in for the touchdown and the referees call a penalty on JJ, I think, a Whiteside. Now, look, this play, to me, this is something that does not get called in the red zone. This is something that you could possibly call in the field of play. In the red zone, absolutely not. I mean, the guy, they called it a pick play, an offensive pass interference. Arcega-Whiteside was being, first off, the defender was all over him. So how it could be offensive pass interference with the defenders all over you, I have no idea. Sirianni went nuts. The rest of the, the rest of the sideline went crazy. You could hear Jason Kelsey on the mic saying, don't do this, don't do this. They called the flag. It was a complete momentum changer for the Eagles. Should have been a touchdown. These things change everything. And Nick Sirianni did not have a great game. I mean, he's still a young coach learning how to call these plays. And look, first off, you got to run the ball in the red zone. He would not do that for whatever reason. And when he did, Kenny Gainwell scored a touchdown. But a lot of these, the Eagles are the most penalized team in the league. I think they might have had 10 or 11 today, which is another reason why they lost. So I pinned this on the defense and on the penalties. And again, the Eagles had 3 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts threw for 4 touchdowns, but 3 were taking off the board. It's just absolutely crazy. And yeah, I agree with Trexler. Defense isn't getting better. It's getting worse. And I sat here and I beat the desk for Jonathan Gannon. And I told you guys, a lot of teams are looking to hire him as a defensive coordinator. This is a guy that people think could be a head coach someday. He has had his ass absolutely kicked. Now, you can't stop Derek Barnett from committing game-changing penalties every game. I understand that. But how in the hell are these teams excuse my language. Kansas City could not run the ball that well before today, okay? These teams are running all over this Philadelphia Eagles defense. They are absolutely, if I was Kansas City, that's all I would do. They were gashing the Eagles for at least 6 yards a game. I'd be shocked to see what the average was for Kansas City rushing. I mean, it was insane. The Chiefs were not doing normal Chiefs shit. Like Mahomes was not being that magician, making crazy plays out of nothing. They were doing simple, fundamental stuff, and the Eagles could not handle it. I don't get it. Now, Tyreek Hill had 3 touchdowns. Again, one, he was covered by Eric Wilson. The other one, Anthony Harris, I guess he was covered by. I don't know. He was wide open, that last one, that 3rd touchdown. I don't understand this, how the only guy on their offense, besides Travis Kelce maybe, that you should be focusing on gets wide open. Why does this happen? Now, I hated Jim Schwartz as Eagles defensive coordinator. I wanted to fight Jim Schwartz every game. But, man, is Jonathan Gannon bad at what he is doing right now. The Eagles defensive line, you got Fletcher Cox. Somebody said here, as I was looking, does Fletcher Cox even still play for us? I think it was Trexler, because he doesn't show up on the stats. No tackles, no sacks. One of the highest paid players on this team is not doing anything. Javon Hargrave, absolute beast, absolute monster. Josh Sweat, the same, even though he committed a stupid penalty earlier in the game too. These are guys that you can build on, and that's what we're looking to this year. The Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl this year. Do I think that the Eagles could possibly have gotten into a playoff spot? I still think that's possible. Because, look, they're playing a crazy stretch right now of really good football teams. Next week, they have the Panthers, who I don't think are that good to begin with. And then you got the Bucks. I mean, they're playing a very hard stretch right now. And they've got a bunch of shitty teams like the Giants and the Redskins or the Washington football team. They got to play at the end of the year that they can make up some ground. But this stuff right now, this shit has got to end. This defense, I have never seen a defense this bad, an Eagles defense. I can't remember. I mean, yes, we've had the corners that have gotten burnt to toast, like Bradley Fletcher and Kerry Williams. But for a team to give up this many yards on the run is just insane. Like I said, they weren't doing anything crazy, was Mahomes or the rest of the offense. They were just, I mean, look, what was it? 7 out of 8 drives for the Chiefs ended up in touchdowns. They didn't punt the ball once. Oh, Dizzle Drizzle says, yes, D is terrible right now. Again, our O is getting better. We're starting to figure out who we are. We're a young team. Mistakes happen, but penalties are killing us. Yeah, penalties are horrible. How about Davonte Smith? That touchdown that he caught. To me, he's getting forced out by the defender. The defender's got his arm on him as he goes out of bounds. He comes back in and catches that ball. What a ticky-tack penalty there. I thought Davonte Smith played his best game of the season. Obviously over 100 yards. He was the first Eagles wide receiver since Jordan Matthews in 14 to have a 100-yard game. And Hurts missed him on some plays. I think this kid is going to be he's going to be a top wide receiver in this league. Now, I don't know if the Eagles continue with Jalen Hurts after this year, if they go after a guy like Deshaun Watson or whatever, but Davonte Smith's the real deal. I think he showed it today. Mark Anderson says it's crazy. They'll say we're not giving up big plays, but yet they're allowing 14 okay drives ending with touchdowns. I agree. Yes, they are not. Jonathan Gannon is not letting them get that 40-yard play, except for that last play, that last touchdown Tyreek Hill had. But these running backs are getting 8 yards, 6 yards per carry. I mean, the holes are so big. It's insane to me. And the Eagles defensive line, it's not like it's a bunch of little guys out there. I couldn't understand that. And I'm watching the game with my dad, and I'm telling him, because I think it was one of the fourth down plays that Sirianni went for that they actually got. I said, look, they can't. My dad's like, why not get the points? And I'm like, this is not an offense that you can just settle for field goals for. You can't. You have to get 7 against the Chiefs. And that's even with good defenses. This defense that the Eagles have is bad. It is a bad defense. And again, I look at coaching. Because I don't understand it. I don't get how it is a vanilla defense, guys. They blitzed a couple times. They mixed stuff up a couple times. But other than that, man, this Pat Mahomes have 2 shovel passes as touchdowns. You heard that right. 2 of his touchdowns were shovel passes. Digging the Eagles' grave were the shovel passes. I mean, come on, man. He knew this Eagles defense, they couldn't stop them. He saw what they were giving them. Now he threw a bad interception, Derek Wilson, that the Eagles turned into a field goal. Imagine that. But the Chiefs, it was never a question. It was never a question. I thought to myself when it was like 28-23, I'm like, man, if the defense can get one stop, the Eagles might be able to do something. And the defense couldn't stop anybody, so it didn't happen. Now, the good thing is it's only week 4, so there's, again, a lot of room for improvement here. We play in a really weak division, so that helps. Did losing BG really hurt this defense this much? You know what? I was thinking that last week because if you remember, when Brandon Graham was in there, like a lot of the shit with the run was not happening. Like they were not this bad. And yeah, I think it did hurt. I think it really did hurt. Derek Barnett is a bum. Derek Barnett, I'm so glad the Eagles didn't pay, and I can't wait to not see him on my team because this guy has more penalties than he does sacks in his career, and I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it. Last week, they showed Nick Sirianni's lips after a huge Derek Barnett penalty, and he said it's always him, and it is always Derek Barnett, and not for the good reasons. I think Josh Sweat is a beast. Again, Javon Hargrave. There's some good pieces to this line, but Derek Barnett is not one of them. Andre Dillard over there on the offensive side with a couple of big penalties. I guess I'll take it because like I said, the offense showed some moxie, but the defense just wasn't there for them. You cannot have a bad defense, if your offense is good, you need a decent defense, man. Give your offense a shot. But when the Chiefs are 7 out of 8 drives, 8+ plays, 75 yards, and touchdowns, you're not getting anything there. So the final stats on Jalen Hurts today was 32 for 48, 387 yards, 8.1 yards average, 2 touchdowns. He was sacked 3 times. Overall rating 105.1. So stat-wise, he played very well. He was also the Eagles' leading rusher, 8 carries, 47 yards, followed by Kenny Gainwell, 3 carries for 31 yards, and Miles Sanders, 7 carries for 13 yards. Miles Sanders is so much better than that. Like, if I'm Miles Sanders, I'm thinking about asking for a trade right now. This kid is so talented. I don't understand. Again, I looked at him as Jonathan Taylor from last year. Like, he is going to explode this year with this Sirianni Indianapolis type offense, and it just hasn't happened. Like, I don't understand. They just haven't run the ball with him when they need to. Guys, stop acting like we're going to win this game. Let us know we're close. We need a player too. Here we're loading the draft to make this team better. With Hurts playing like today, Hurts. Yeah, and look, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if I trust Harry Roseman with this draft. I just don't. I don't know if I trust him to draft the right guys right now. Because the Andre Dillard he was a first round pick. Should be better than those stupid penalties that he committed today. But a good thing is, second round pick from this year, Landon Dickerson did not look bad at all in the offensive line. So again, 42-30. And again, those last 7, it was garbage points. I think the Eagles should have had 3 more touchdowns. But I'm not really mad. I'm not really heartbroken. There he is, Big Joe. We cannot win in all capital letters. Big Joe, I agree with you. We cannot win. Not playing like they did today. Not with the interception or with the penalties. I'm sorry. Not with this defense. Just look, me, I'm 5'6.5". Okay. I weigh almost 200 pounds. Now, yes, I could be jacked at times, but I could run through this Eagles defense for 5 or 6 yards. I mean, look, that's how bad they are. That is how bad they are. They are horrible. This defense, I thought was going to be a strength for this team. I sat up here weeks ago and said, these Eagles linebackers aren't bad. Alex Singleton playing great. Eric Wilson is doing okay. No, Eric Wilson should not be on the field. I get it. He had the interception today. TJ Edwards should be playing over him. I saw Davion Taylor in there for a couple plays. That was good. But yes, Joe, we cannot win like this. We cannot win games like this. Now, again, they played the Chiefs, who had the best, I think, one of the best coaches in the history of the game. One of the best offenses in the history of the game. Their defense is kind of shitty this year, but they played a really hard team. I thought they hung in there what they could. And I think going forward, and look, we can look back at this video later in the year, but I think going forward, it shows some promise to where we can beat teams like the Washington football team, where we can beat teams like the New York Giants or the Oakland Raiders. I think we got a good chance against the Panthers next week. Again, this offensive line, Jack Driscoll, they just activated today. He had no practice time with the ones. Nate Herbig is a decent guy, but Landon Dickerson is a rookie. And Andre Dillard is playing a second game. I mean, he kind of effed things up for, a couple key plays. But again, this team playing offensive line is one of the most important positions in a football game. So to have your backups in there and still, again, Jalen Hurts almost 400 yards. And the Eagles, if the Eagles defense would have just stopped them a couple times, it could have made this a game. I think there's some promise there. I think there's some things to look at. And I look at this team and I'm optimistic. I'm the most optimistic Eagles fan on this platform. I've watched everybody else. And I think I'm the most optimistic because why be completely 100% negative? And yeah, I was earlier today in my preview, but I think that the Philadelphia Eagles in this rebuild, because that's what it is. It's a rebuild. I think there's more promise than not. Now, look, you got to look at guys like Jalen Reagor, first round pick from last year, and go, where was he today? He had a couple plays. That was it. But did he play like a first round pick? Absolutely not. Quez Watkins continues to play better than him. I think he might have got hurt or tweaked something in the game. Oh, by the way, when he was pushed out of bounds, that wasn't called. And the referees, and look, I guess every fan could probably say this, but how come the ref? I saw so many holding calls, pass interference calls that weren't called for the Chiefs today, and it is what it is. I guess I mean, there was also a fumble from Kenny Gainwell that the officials didn't pick up that the Eagles scored on. So I guess it goes both ways. But Reagor and Watkins kind of invisible today. Davonte Smith was the guy and the tight ends. So going forward, again, we've got the Carolina Panthers next week. I think that we have a decent shot against them, even though they should be pissed off because they just lost. And that's another thing. The Chiefs lost 2 games in a row. They came in here on fire and pissed off. And again, I think that the Eagles stuck in there as much as they could with all of the injuries to the offensive line. Again, no Brandon Graham. Ronnie McLeod, I think he maybe lasted a quarter and a half, maybe two, before he was done, and then Mike Epps had to come in for him. So yeah, I mean, look, 42-30. It is what it is. None of us in this room right now, or nobody that's going to watch this video later. And if you're just now watching and you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Help the channel out. We're here for Eagles entertainment, music videos, do a little bit of anything. You're going to see the new Sopranos movie review is going to be up in a couple days. Just all sorts of stuff on here. And us as Eagle fans living in Philadelphia, we've got to kind of get this shit off our minds sometimes, which is why I do so much different kind of content. But yeah, this is not a game that I'm like last week, dude, when the Eagles lost to the Cowboys. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to be out in front of a camera. Didn't want to talk Eagles because it was so bad. But this game, I mean, look, it's a 42-30 loss against a team that was in the Super Bowl last 2 years that we were expecting to get beat by even more. And again, there was 3 touchdowns that were just taken off the board. Think about that. That's what the box score is not going to show. Also, it's headband season. That's going to bring us some wins. Starting next week, we go on a run. I think the Eagles go on a run starting next week. I think they beat the Carolina Panthers. I think they shocked the world against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the week after. And I think they just go on a run after that, because I think this team kind of has a little bit of moxie to them that just needs to translate over to the defense. Jonathan Gannon's got to switch some stuff up. And I think that it's week 4. It's week 4. Use the Kansas City Chiefs game and the Cowboys game as preseason game and come out next week and show what you got and show what you're made of. And I think Jalen Hurts can do that. The guy, look, first off, there are some passes that everything that you said bad about Jalen Hurts, he kind of said, yeah, you're right. Some with the inaccuracy. But the guy's a baller, man. Just give it to him. He's a baller. Okay? He was not the reason why they lost today at all, man. He was not. Again, with a makeshift offensive line, I think he did pretty decent against this awesome Kansas City Chiefs team. And with that being said, guys, I'm going to jump off here. I'm going to try to stomach this Vizzy, this pineapple mango Vizzy. You know what? I'm not going to get off here until I'm done because it is bad. What is everybody's drink of choice during these games? Of course, the fourth and John tailgate guys, they're Bud Light guys. Would have loved to be there today. Maybe I can get to this Tampa Bay game in a couple of weeks. We will see. And that'd be a great time for you guys. If you want to hit that super chat. Let's get Chris Wilde to some Eagles games because I've got kids and I can't afford to go to every game. But the super chaps, definitely. Super chaps. Is that what I said? Zach will make fun of me for that. Super chats definitely help into everything. And yeah, I'm not going to leave you guys until I'm done this. But I don't feel bad right now after a loss. I mean, I don't. And again, everybody else in Division 1, okay, whatever. But I just don't. I don't feel as bad as I thought I was going to. Pat Mahomes, what an awesome quarterback this kid is. I mean, he didn't look bothered at all throughout anything. He was sacked a couple times. The kid didn't look bothered. He was 24 for 30, 278 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception, 131 quarterback rating. I mean, I can't say enough about this kid. He is just one of the players that I absolutely love to watch. As far as the Chiefs running game goes, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, again, who really has been kind of a disappointment so far this year. 14 carries, 102 yards. And then Williams had 42 yards, and Mahomes himself had 26. So, I mean, they just did whatever they wanted against the Eagles defense. Tyreek Hill, 11 receptions, 186 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He's on my fantasy team. I would have rather seen him get nothing because I'm an Eagles fan before I'm a fantasy football fan. But, wow, just what a game from him. And the Chiefs get back to their winning ways as they're now 2-2, and the Eagles fall to 1-3. Again, this is a weak division, guys. The Cowboys, yes, they beat the Carolina Panthers. They're led by Sam Darnold. I don't think that the Panthers are as good as their record said they were. I mean, what were they, 3-0? I don't think they're a 3-0 football team. And they went to Dallas, and Dallas handled their business. But I think these little baby steps that the Philadelphia Eagles are taking will set them up for success later on in the season. It's just how I feel. Because I'm the most optimistic Eagles fan on this platform on YouTube. And I've been that way for quite a while. So, almost done with the sweat. Nicole says she only watched a little. Only a little. Check out these. I'm gonna head out to the neighborly Buffalo Wild Wings and watch these 4 o'clock games or the rest of them. Get some wings and drown myself in my Philadelphia Eagles woes. Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts are currently probably talking to the media. Again, I can't really I can't really put this on Sirianni so much as I can on Jonathan Gannon. And this was Davonte Smith's first 100-yard game as a professional. So, all right, this is it, guys. And with that being said, we are now done. I am done with Vizzy. The Eagles lose 42-30 to the Kansas City Chiefs. Stay tuned to the channel for a busy week of content coming up as we look forward to the Carolina Panthers. Nicole, I love you. And that being said, everybody stay safe, stay healthy. Go Birds. And I'll see you later.